Day 26, meal 5. Are you wondering what happened? Me versus pigs in blanket? It actually wasn't me versus pigs in blanket. It actually wasn't me versus anything at all. It was actually just impulse arising from old practiced momentum, little bit maybe of my body asking for more fat. All right. It was actually, with that in mind, if our body's asking for something that we need, it's never us versus something else. It's always our body being smart and delivering a message that it's basically me with me, and well, it's up to me as being kind of like the mayor of this city to figure out what people actually need. So what I did was I kind of just made a little space like what I talked about. I rested a little bit. You know, that avocado, my idea in the avocado ended up being the right idea. I ended up not needing to eat the pigs in a blanket. The craving just subsided on its own. It didn't last forever. Now, this is an interesting kind of thing for us here. Oh, look, I have this flower up here, King Arthur flower. Hey, King Arthur flower, what are you doing up there? All-purpose, unbleached flower. What's your story, King Arthur? It's on your packaging. Let's see, King Arthur. Calories. A serving would be a quarter cup, and it would be 110 calories, right? The protein would be 4 grams of protein, 23 carbohydrates, and 0 fat, and 110 calories for a quarter cup. Okay, thanks, King Arthur. It is 100% employee owned. That's a good thing. Okay, well, hey, King Arthur made a visit. So I'm moving towards my next meal here. I made it okay. I almost crashed and burned. It was a close call for a moment there. But making a little space, I survived. I'm just fine. This is about 3 hours later. I need to teach tonight. We all have been a little bit kind of just slightly under the weather. Keely was sick. She spent most of the day in bed. She didn't make any appearances here. Abby's like never gets sick, or she's the toughest person on the planet. You'd never know if she was not feeling well. So I was encouraging her the other day to be more expressive, right? But to let us know what's really going on with her. It'd be nice, you know? It'd be nice if teenagers were more expressive. Wait a minute, more expressive. Teenagers seem to be sometimes way too expressive. We want to squash that and make them express the way we want them to express. They have to resist that. It's in their nature. They have to find their own identity, right? So almost no matter, so basically with teenagers, the whole plan is keep the communication going, even if they get cantankerous, but leave them enough space that they can spread their wings, but provide still enough connection to let them know that you love and care for them. Well, we need to do the same with our body, especially when our body wants to act up or act like a teenager. It wants to give a spiky hairdo, you know? So you can't tell your teenagers, hey guys, it's okay to have a spiky hairdo or something, because then they won't want to do that. They want to do something opposite. Next thing you know, it starts looking like Leave It to Beaver around here. Like, remember that show from the 50s and 60s? Okay, I don't know. Teenagers, interesting thing. I think I'm going to write a whole thing about teenagers, right, based on my experience. Abby and I would write it together. I think I would let her be the lead writer in that. I think there'd be no other way, right? You got to make room for this sort of teenager energy, but at the same time kind of hold it with care and attention. Now, there's a little bit of me I'm realizing that maybe it's like my inner teenager reaching for these pigs in a blanket, you know? I mean, it appeals to something like I want something outside the system. Well, let's just look at a few interesting, strange, but true facts, all right? Basically, first, the system is my ecosystem that is inside of me and outside of me, and my consciousness is a place of connection with all that is. I'm kind of the mayor of this operation, interconnected with other mayors like you. You're the mayor of your domain there, the master of your own experience. I'm wanting to be more purposeful. I'm wanting to be on the side of harmonious relating inside my body and mind and with the world around me. I would like to use food as medicine. I would like to embrace food as this joyous means of interconnection with all that is. And so when I get a teenager-like cantankerous desire, I think it might be important I don't throw it out. You know, that just because I got some part of me that doesn't want to go with the plan, 2 cups of spinach and 2 hard-boiled eggs and a 1/8 to 1/4 of an avocado. That's the basic plan concept, right? 6 times a day, spread out every 3 or 4 hours. Golden. That's easy, right? You think about it. Okay, eating the same thing every day. Well, I have mentioned before that I literally could eat pizza every meal every day. It's the same thing. I'd never get bored. I could eat cheeseburgers and break the Gracie family rules about diet and eat the French fries too every single meal, maybe with a milkshake. I would never get bored with that, right? So why would I get bored with 2 cups of spinach? Protein, lean protein, the size of the palm of my hand, and a fat about the end of my thumb. Say 3 macadamia nuts. So, you know, I get that there's going to be a piece of me that someone says, pigs in a blanket, or that a piece of me is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm all over pigs in a blanket, right? I get that. Doesn't mean I have to go there. Okay, I gave myself enough of the right kind of fuel, fortunately, kind of noticing what was happening a little bit early, and that kind of adding that avocado, I think, was the key factor that helped me to do what is to stay on track with what my intent is. You know, keep in mind, it's not a small thing. I want to be here in person. I want to enjoy my kids in person. I want to get to know my students in person. Believe me as a little tooth fairy, man, I'm all over everything. You can count on me. Believe me. I'll never sleep as a tooth fairy. I will, as a flying around, like, you know, kind of trying to spread some good energy, you know, also bust some people's chops. I'll be like the tooth fairy that has an attitude, right? You know, do you realize that some people don't like me? Because why? Because when I see something and I have I'm like confident in how I'm feeling about something. If something feels askew, even in myself, you know, I kind of speak up. I got something to say about it. You know, because some people don't, you know, it's like, I've never concerned myself with winning the popularity contest. Some people don't like that. You know, like if I say, hey, listen, high A1C over time, blood sugar over time, actually will kill you? Who wants to hear that? Like my doctor was like very abrupt with me. It's like, Jim, here's the high likelihood. You mapped it out in numbers, the high likelihood of stroke, heart disease, diabetes, all these issues and problems, right? There's no way to look away from it. It's like, God, I like my doctor though. She's amazing. But then she's got to tell me the truth. It's like she wasn't worried about winning a popularity contest with me. She's concerned about utilizing her understanding of science and modern medicine to be able to actually help support my health and well-being. And that's more important than my tiny idea about myself. Okay, sometimes we don't like people when they speak up and tell the truth. Sometimes that's why teenagers are so hard to deal with, because they can see things that sometimes we can't see, and they kind of know how to find our buttons and go, bah! Right? And it's like oftentimes kind of hitting the nail on the head, like in a weird way, right? You're like, that hurt. Okay, well, in this case, I'm winding an interesting story here. It has multiple facets. But when it comes to pigs in a blanket, I'm saying the teenager part of me wants to grab those pigs in a blanket and run like crazy, eating them all the way, grabbing all of them for myself, expression of my individuality. Okay, but what's true about that is that there's the deliciousness of that is undeniably really bad for my well-being, because that bread in that turns to sugar fast. Okay, I'm not going to complain too much about the tiny hot dog. It is high in fat. Our bodies do need fat. There are better, leaner sources of protein than those tiny hot dogs. There's better choices, but the problem is the bread is really that high glycemic index on the bread, turning to sugar very fast, providing a burst of energy, and then letting us down. It's going to always let us down hard. Okay, so let's look at a few things. First off, there's one of those pigs in a blanket left. Apparently my kids ate them. Here's something Silvana made, which is like a turkey burrito. There's turkey and cheese in there. And it has something that looks like like it's really good for us, okay? It has a wrap or a tortilla that obviously is amazingly good for us. It is a whole wheat wrap, and it says here made with 100% whole wheat, and it's a good source of fiber. People are all over, got to have good sources of fiber. It says 4.5 grams of fat per serving. They make it easy recipes on the back and make it look delicious on the front. That's got to be good for us, right? Well, amongst the choices that are presented in the store, that's infinitely better, not infinitely, but somewhere up there, better than white flour tortillas. But if we examine this a little more carefully, because I was about ready to bite into one of those, right? So I thought, well, hold on. I want to see what's actually in it. First off, there's a gigantic list, long as my thumb right there, of what's in this. Wheat flour, shortening soybean. There it is, right there. Hydrogenated soybean oil. Hydrogenated soybean oil. Diglycerides, calcium sulfate. Enzymes I like, but microcrystalline cellulose. Cysteine monohydrochloride. What? I got to be a chemist to understand this. Already, I'm out. Too many ingredients. It's got stuff I can't pronounce. I'm totally out. I get though that it looks good, and it's a lot better than white bread, or a lot better than the white flour in a typical tortilla. Okay, but what's the food value of this? Let's look at the food value. Maybe I make a mistake here. Okay, one serving is obviously one tortilla, and there's 6 grams of protein, 27 carbohydrates, 4.5 grams of fat. Well, they told us that in the front. 170 calories. All right, I'm not counting calories too much, but let's count them for a moment. I mapped out a few things that have roughly in the ballpark of 170 calories. Okay, I've got a little cheat sheet here of lots of meals that I've eaten in the past, so it's easy for me to find my calculations. 1 cup of broccoli, 3 grams of protein. I can barely read my carb figure there. 6 carbs. 0.3 fats, 31 calories. I got 1 egg white, 4 protein, 0 carbs, 0 fat, 17 calories. Imagine that. So I can eat 10 egg whites. 10 egg whites or this 1 tortilla. 10 egg whites or 1 tortilla. 6 cups of broccoli or 1 tortilla. About somewhere between 12 to 16 corn chips or 1 tortilla. Well, that's in the same ballpark. Or 6 cups of broccoli. What's going to give me more food value? What's going to satisfy me more? Eat more. Okay, somewhere between 4 to 6 cups of mixed greens. There it is right here, okay? Is the equivalent in calories of this. What's going to be more satisfying? What's going to be more filling? What's going to have more nutrients? This or this, all right? Now, here's an interesting thing. I thought it was interesting. Pink salmon in a little package, skinless, boneless, premium, wild pink salmon. Okay, so this package has serving size in this is 2. There's 2 servings, it says. So each serving is 14 grams of protein, 0 carbohydrate, 1 gram of fat, 60 calories. So this whole package, okay, is going to be about 120 calories. So if I added another half a package to this, I'd have about roughly the 170 calories that is built into this tortilla. So what's going to give me more food value? What's going to build muscle better? What's going to be better for my body? Just omega-3 fatty acids alone, obviously. It's the salmon, right? What is going to be more food? So look how thick this is, and look how thick, they're almost the same size, but look how tiny thin that is, and look how thick that is. Thanks a lot, sugar cane, for helping hold everything up over there. Okay, well, remember this meal? I've got my roughly about half a cup of cottage cheese there. That half a cup of cottage cheese is 110 calories, is 12 grams of protein, 5 carbohydrates, 5 fat, 110 calories. So it's up there towards that tortilla, but what's going to provide me more food value? I think I am going to have that. I think that's meal number 5 today. I also think the plan is I'm going to have a cup of broccoli, a cup of this here. I'm going to avoid this. I'm going to take this apart And inside, I'm going to have the turkey. I'm not going to eat the tortilla. That's going to be meal 5. Let's take a look at our packaging. Thank you back there. Sneaking up on me. I wasn't really planning to talk about King Arthur flower at all, but it happened to be this cabinet was open. And there's King Arthur just like looking over my shoulder. Like King Arthur had to make him or herself part of this conversation. All right. Hey, let's keep at it. Let's notice and look at and pay attention to the food that we're bringing into our bodies. Let's listen to what our impulses are. Let's try to value them even if they're cantankerous. Let's try to not get in a fight with them. Let's try to make room, but let's try to make space though too. And room and space sounds like the same thing, right? Make room and space actually is the same thing. Let's try to understand. Let's remember our intention, and let's be the amazingly great, purposeful custodians of our well-being that we can be by simply having really daily clearer and clearer intention and using our intention as a kind of guidance and noticing our feeling inside of ourselves as a kind of internal guidance system that helps us to know kind of where we are. Okay, if we're feeling generally pleasant feelings, we're on track with what we're wanting. If we're feeling generally unpleasant feelings, then something maybe is slightly askew. Okay, best to try to line it up inside ourselves. I can go to the tortilla company and try to get them to take out the hydrogenated soybean oil. That's a long road right there. Or I can just move towards a better decision, like the broccoli, like the salad, the broccoli. Wow, that's like one tortilla, like one tortilla. It's 12 to 16 chips, like one tortilla. 1.5 packages of the salmon is like one tortilla. Okay. Enough for now. Meal number 5. We'll see you in a few hours.